It's you and me, no place I'd rather be. Ding dong, hello, let's make this house a home.
Yes, okay. We did it. Okay. We're live.
Yay!
Yay! Welcome back to Spencer and Sarah's house.
We're back in the house.
Yeah.
I love it.
How are you doing? My mind is still a prison.
I'm in a different mood after touching grass. I feel really good.
That's good. Yeah, I changed into pajama shorts and opened a window, which was nice.
Yeah, I've been in sweats and my strawberry slippers this whole time.
Hell
I'm only dressed from the top up.
Nice.
I got my velvet. Oh
yes. Yeah, I've got. That's so cute. Those are great.
Look at your little warm Olympus sweater.
Yeah, Laura Olympus. I'll show you the back.
See it.
Oh, the headphones. Hang on.
The way I just went like this as if I could see around. Oh, it's Hermes. Oh my god, I love that. So cute.
I was debating between getting this one and Hecate, but I decided on this one.
Yeah. I really love Eros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, surprise, we're talking about comics and Webtoons today. If you haven't guessed yet.
They are. I did.
So when did you start reading comics or graphic novels?
I want to say that probably started when I was in high school. So let me do some math here. Probably like 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I started off on an app called Tapas, Tapas. I don't know if that's how you say it, Tapas or something like that. I still remember the first comic I read, and I was just thinking about it the other day while I was thinking about this episode. I don't remember what it was called, but it was about this girl who moved into this like house, and she was being haunted by the ghost of this guy who was her age. He had died. This might be like a little triggering, just like a heads up for anybody who who maybe it's alcohol related. He had died because he had gotten very drunk and aspirated on his own body sleep. This was very important to the story too. I'm not just like saying it to make people upset, but it was like a whole thing that they talked about in it. And so he was haunting her, and they fell in love.
Cute.
It was like a ghost love story. That was my first one on there.
Nice.
And I feel like I finished it too. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little impatient and I jump ahead a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't do that on Lore Olympus because it's still going. But
almost done.
but yeah, that was my first one, and then I moved to Webtoon from there.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And yourself?
I think the first thing that I remember reading is the Teen Titan comics. And I don't remember, it may have been in college that I started it. I had like a library card over the summer, and I would just read like the oldest comic. It was like a giant book that just had all the volumes of the Teen Titans, but there was like so many of them. So I would like rent like 3 or 4 of these giant books and like just read the Teen Titan comics. Are
they DC? They're DC, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
like
the only thing I like from DC. But because I don't read like superhero comics or anything that much. But like I love the fucking Teen Titans, so I was like just interested in reading everything I could about them. But yeah, I never finished those though. Never caught up. So maybe one day I'll read everything. There's
this guy you're reminding me of. I follow him on Instagram. If you like Teen Titans, you'll like. I wonder if you're already following him.
Probably. Is it Gabriel Piccolo?
Yes, it is him.
Yep.
If you're not following him, listeners, you should. His Teen Titans DC art in general is so incredible. It's so good.
Casual Teens. He like released the artwork for New Teen Titan Comics.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 of those books that are so good.
The art is so incredible.
It's so good.
I love it.
Yeah, big fan. And then I guess after
that you read physical comics, yeah, because I started off with digital comics.
I had like no idea that existed. Like you introduced me to Webtoon. Was it 2 years ago? A year and a half ago?
Probably.
A year? Maybe 2 years ago, I'd say.
Time is an illusion.
Yeah. Because I would read the physical ones, and then I'd forget once I read them and returned them to the library, I'd forget they existed. And then it was like one time when I came back to visit Chicago, I was like, I remembered that I liked graphic novels, and I got the first Lore Olympus book while I was with you at a bookstore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God,
that was great. And Crumbs. Did you ever read Crumbs?
Crumbs? I don't think so.
It was a webtoon that's like, it's fully completed, but they like print it off in a whole book. And it is so wholesome and like just like feel good. And I read it and I went, this is all I need. Like it was like a nice warm hug. It's so good.
I'll put that on my list to read. Yeah, I'm trying to read some new stuff in the meantime. And I'm sorry if I keep looking off to the side. The dogs are meandering right now, so I'm trying to make sure they're not getting into anything.
No worries.
Behaved, so I want them to licking my leg right now. Yeah, and actually now that we're talking about it, I guess technically I did read, like we used to have those really thick, like complete collection comic books of like the stuff that was in the newspaper and stuff like that. Also like Calvin and Hobbes. Like,
yes.
Calvin and Hobbes. And I think there was one called Zits. It was about this like, teenage boy.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so funny. But yeah, because I was literally like, yeah, I've only ever read digital comics, and I was like, wait, I don't think that's true. Like, I remember having the Calvin Hobbes book because it was like a big whoosh, like it took your whole arm to flip the page kind of dealio.
Yeah.
So good. But I really love digital comics just because of like the ease of it and the fact that like you don't necessarily have to pay for it is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, so good. Yeah, I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember how I got into Webtoon. Well, obviously I think I started because of Lore Olympus. But I don't remember like I think it was like one of those Instagram things where I was just like scrolling through the art, on the For You page.
Yeah.
And I think I got this post recommended to me from the author, Rachel. I always want to say her last name wrong too. I always want to say Scythe, and it's not Scythe. Smythe.
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 Smithy.
I'm sorry. I never say it right.
It's hard when all you do is like a reading medium, so you never know how anything's pronounced.
Oh my God, I'm literally running to the Instagrams right now to figure out how to say her name because I feel really bad about it. I think it is Smythe, Smythe. Yeah, and then was like, what is this? And I had to download Webtoon to read it and just fell in love with it. It's so good.
So good. Have you caught up with today's episode?
No. I never am caught up when we have these calls.
That's okay. When the last episode comes out, because she's like if you're on Fast Pass, you've read, like, they're all available now. But I have no Fast Pass coin, so I was like, I'll just do it like a normal person. Or not normal. I'll do it the freeway and just wait. So I think there's like 3 more left.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we need to backtrack a little bit on this topic. So if you don't know what Lore Olympus is, it is a web comic by Rachel Smythe. And it is her take on the myth of Hades and Persephone. Webtoon itself is an app that you download, and it's just a bunch of web comics on there, just like made by artists. Like they can just upload, whatever. And it's cool. It's free to download. It's free to read. However, you can spend money to buy what Sarah was saying, fast passes, which allow you to say there's 5 episodes total. The first 3 are free. And then the last 2, you either need to wait a week before it becomes free, or you can purchase a fast pass and read the episode right away. but it's cool. And Tapas is another one like that, although I don't really use Tapas anymore. There's another one I was on called Manta, and I'm going to expose myself here and say I solely downloaded it to read Under the Oak Tree, which if you've been on Instagram, you've probably gotten that ad before. No? You've never seen that ad? What the heck? Okay, well, it's like, I don't even want to explain it. It's fine. It's like a medieval fantasy type of dealio where magic is a thing, and this girl gets like arranged married to this dude who, like, the first day after they're married, he has to go on this year-long quest to slay a dragon or whatever. So the comic starts when he comes back, and she's like, he's not gonna want me because he's successful now, right? And she's like, whatever. And instead he's like, no, I love you. I've been waiting for you forever. And it's like a lot of meandering. It's a lot of like palace, how do you decorate the castle talk and shit like that. But I kind of live for it. And
I love that.
It's a little spice. There's spice in there too, which, you know, I love a good spice.
Yes.
But the plot is just kind of just doing this right now, and I'm like, where is this going? But it's not bad. It's not bad. The art's really good. But Manta's another one that's like that as well. But yeah, so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about these apps and these comics that we love.
Yes. So yeah, Lore Olympus, I guess, was like the first one first digital comic that I was.
I'm sorry. It's a fly. I apologize. Sorry.
That was the first one I got obsessed with, and then Castle Swimmer was the next one that you recommended me.
Let me go get that author name real quick. Tell them about Castle Swimmer, because that was a weird find for me. I was like, sometimes I don't recommend things to people because I'm like, I don't know if I know you like that yet.
Yeah.
But with Sarah, I'm always cautiously optimistic that she'll like the same thing I do, and I'm always right.
Yeah, we always do.
So you talk about that comic while I get the author name, because oh my god, I love that one.
Yes, Castle Swimmer is about it takes place underwater, like in the ocean, and there's this character, like myth, called the Beacon, who's like someone that, like, within all these different like people's like realms, kingdoms, of like different like species, they all have like this legend of the Beacon coming to like save them from some issue that they have, and so this takes place then there's like a different character who's a part of like the shark people, and they're cursed and they're waiting for the Beacon, and like that's all I really remember. But then the Beacon and the boy are like, they fall in love. And so it's like them trying to figure out how to like break curses and be their own people and all that stuff on a crazy, crazy adventure.
Yeah, I think they're called prophecies or something.
Yes.
Like this Beacon. Why can't I remember his name right now?
It's been a while. It's been a while since they posted any new episodes, so I do not remember.
They were on hiatus for a while. But yeah, the Beacon is like bestowed this power to help the prophecies come true or make them come true. But I think I remember, like, it was always at the expense of the Beacon, though, somehow. Like their physical or a mental or emotional stability. And I think that's why they bonded in the first place, is because the prophecy that the Prince of the Sharks, Siren is his name, has to fulfill is like he has to die in order to save his people. So they're both like, well, we want to be free of this curse fate thing. Yeah. Curse. Yeah. Her name is Wendy. I might say this middle name wrong. I'm sorry. Wendy Lian. Lian, Wendy Lian Martin. And I love Castle Swimmer, Wendy. It's incredible. The next episode is free in a week.
Hey, finally.
Yes, but we read both those on Webtoons.
Yes.
And then Sarah showed me one. It's like a space one. I started it, but I can't remember. It's like the alien girl.
Oh, down to earth.
Down to earth. That's what it is. Oh my god. That's
a good one.
I'm behind on that one. But But yeah, it's just this alien girly who comes to Earth and this human guy who takes her in, and I'm sure it'll become a love story. This is my problem, okay? Webtoon feeds my niche, and I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to expand my horizons, but every time I finish a chapter or something, it's like, here's another fantasy romance comic you'll probably love. And I'm like, well, I guess I have another one to read.
Yes.
I just can't with it.
And now time for a break. Our breaks have a visual component that can be viewed on our YouTube channel.
I'm scared. Who wants to go first? I'll do it first. Okay. I tried so many ideas of what to draw. And then I did a little, just like a picture, basically, is what it is.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it. And then
I love it.
Yay!
Oh, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it too.
Mail it to me. I want the hard copy.
Perfect. I'll stick it in our journal that will one day make its way to me.
Yeah, I know. I don't have it. It's not on me anymore. That's all.
Yeah, I think I have to send Anna my address.
Oh my god. Okay. I drew you into the owl house is what I
No way. Oh my god.
Can you see that okay?
That's so cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I wish I could it, but I did yours kind of like how loose was all the different colors. I figured this was red for Bard Coven, dark blue for Healing Coven, the light brown for Beast Coven, and then green for the Plant Coven. So you've got little birds, you got your little guitar.
That's so cute.
Those are the covens I think you'd be in.
Thank you. That's adorable.
Yay, I'm so glad you like it.
Yay. Thanks.
I'll color it for you.
Oh, thank you.
If you want it.
Amazing.
Hey, so fun. This was fun too. Like art therapy kind of. It was nice to sit down and just.
Yeah. So true. I was watching New Girl while doing this, so it was very nice.
I don't know what I was watching. It was probably Gilmore Girls.
Hell yeah.
Obsessed.
Perfect.
And now back to the podcast.
But I feel like you and I actually did expand our sorry, the coffee was sitting weird and making my voice do that weird thing. With our horizons with another amazing one, Everything is Fine.
So good.
Okay. I love how I was thinking, how are we going to structure this episode? But I love that it's literally just us talking about our favorite webtoons.
Yeah.
And exposing people to,
Webtoons.
shit. Who wrote that? Mike Birchall.
Yes.
Oh my god. Did you tell me about this one, or did I tell you, or were we both just reading it ourselves and then tried to recommend it to each other?
I think I told you about it, and you said that you had started it, but then hadn't caught up.
Yeah, another amazing webtoon. Do you want to explain this one? This one,
Yeah, it's like
I feel like I'm lost in the sauce a little bit. I had to go back a few episodes and reread.
That's fair. It's a dystopian world where everyone wears these helmets. There's debate whether you look like a cat or a bear. In my mind, it's a cat. They're like cat helmets.
It looks like a cat, like a giant cat head.
Yeah, giant cat head. That's what it is.
On a human body.
Yes. And they talk, and so it starts with them acting like everything's normal, but you're like, why do they have cat heads on? And then it turns out that all of the children have been taken away by the government, and you have to everyone lives in this town that's structured in a specific way, and you level up to go to the next town, and you think it's oh, I'll get to this is the next place I need to be, and people are trying to work to the highest level to get to see their children again, and they're monitored through the cameras through their cat eyes,
And so it's like it follows this couple that's like trying to move up, but then like they're discovering the different secrets, and so you just like slowly learn what is actually happening. So it's nothing's revealed right away. You're just like, what's going on? And it's really scary. There's violence and gore in it, and but it's like it's so unsettling, but it's so interesting. That's the only way I can describe it.
It's so good, yeah. And it's funny that it's interesting you said the government, because I, for some reason, read it and thought it's aliens. Like, like that someone came to Earth and took the kids. So now I'm like, maybe I really need to reread this, because there's just a lot that's happened in the comic. And so there's just so many moments of like, that like you kind of forget as things go, as things go on.
Yeah, it's ruthless.
Wow. It is so ruthless. But then there's so that one's so amazing. I love that one too. But then there's like, it's funny too, because you don't necessarily need plot comics either. There's a lot of good slice of life ones out there. Like I have one called Vampire Husband I'm reading, and the author is Scragony, Scragony. It's literally just like, literally a slice of life. Like there's no plot. Each chapter is just kind of like a little moment in time, but it's about a vampire who married this human woman, and she didn't want to get turned into a vampire. She wanted to save human. So, the dogs are running. So now it's about later on in their marriage, she's now an old woman. He's still the same. So it's just like he carries her around, and like but she's like a chaotic old woman. Like she wants to fight everybody, and like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's funny little slice of life things like that too, that I really like to read. But I'm trying to expand my horizons a little more. I feel like I kind of read the same thing over and over and over again.
I'm going to follow that one right now. Vampire.
Yeah, it's real cute, real cute. Oh. And then another one we have to talk about that we're both reading is Sub-Zero, which Sarah's very far along in. I am catching up as fast as I can. That one's Junepur, Junepu. How many R's is this? 3 R's. Purrr.
Yes.
I don't know how to describe that one. It's kind of like,
that one is like, there's
it's like elemental in a way.
There's elemental kingdoms, and they're led by like a person that can shift into a dragon.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And
to broker peace is the princess of the Cerulean, I think they're called the Cerulean tribe. Mm-hmm. She gets married to the Crimson Prince. And so it's like these two enemies that have been enemies forever have to get married and learn how to like live with each other. And then they're like working to try to bring their people together. But then like there's like outside forces that are like trying to fuck up the entire world. Oh, that one's like, I think it's in the beginning, it was very much like a very like romance heavy of like just like trying to get along. But now it's like turned into like a whole. There's like a whole story, and I'm like, oh my god, this is huge. But I really loved like those two like getting to like know each other more was like my favorite bits.
Okay, so I have some questions for you.
Yeah.
That we can just talk about in general with these. What is like your criteria? Like for you, what makes a good comic? Like aside from like I guess you can say like if you have a certain art style preference or stuff like that, but in terms of like storyline, character types, genres, stuff like that. Like what is like the quintessential, this is Sarah's perfect comic if she had it? What do you look for in one?
I think I'm very much like a romantasy girly, so I love fantasy elements and stuff, and I love romance. Like if there's like other things, like I'll be interested in like the horror, the suspenseful stuff, but I think I love seeing the development of like two characters and their relationship. That like just excites me. And I love like quirky characters and like those like fun quips and stuff like that. So like the one we haven't talked about yet is like Morgana and Oz is like, I feel like that's top tier. I love it so much.
I love it too. Let me get that. Keep talking about it. I'll get the author name.
Right. So that one's like about witches and vampires. And is like they're rivals, and so I've totally forgotten what the plot is, but it's like
it was a peace treaty, right? They were coming together for a peace treaty, and then it all went to shit.
Yes, yeah. And so then this like young witch who's like not that good with her magic accidentally turns one of the vampires into a cat. And then so she's trying to figure out how to turn him back, and then they like become like they just like get to know each other a little bit more, and they become more understanding of the other people. So then they're just trying to figure out what's going on and who like made this peace treaty, like go all the shit. And so um it's really good. And the art is so I really like that. Like visual art is so good.
Yeah, I don't know what like that style is. It gives me very much like Studio Ghibli vibes, kind of like anime style, manga style, I guess you would say rather. Yeah, it's like it's very like yeah. The author is Miyuli, Miyuli. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I'm a big romance fan, fantasy fan for sure. Yeah, I'm the same way. I really love the development. That's the bread and butter for me, is like, especially like, it's not that it's like I can't read anything else, but I really love the like enemies to lovers trend, just especially because not just the development between them as like a romance, but also like if they're on like opposing sides of something, like learning to understand the other and like, you know, sometimes there's gray areas. Sometimes it's like, I'm not going to budge on this way of thinking or this belief I have. Like, I find that so interesting and how that, you know, changes or doesn't change their minds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the conflict around that. But yeah, I'm the same. I'm a romance fantasy girly for sure. Yeah. I really do like something I gravitate towards is good, like little side characters. Like, for instance, we're talking about Laura Olympus earlier. Like, Sarah's sweatshirt, that's Hermes, or that interpretation of Hermes. Like, I love strong side characters like that too, where it's like even if the plot deviates from the main, I'm not mad about it. You know, I love when those are fully fleshed out.
Yeah, a big cast. Love a big cast.
I do love a big cast, yeah, absolutely. Whereas like Morgana and Oz has a big cast, but it's more focused on those two most of the time, I would say. Whereas Lore Olympus is more ensemble feeling a lot of the times. Yeah. So yeah, I wonder too, like, do you almost feel like it's helpful to have those? So like, I guess what I'm trying to ask, like, so for me, Everything is Fine is not normally a comic I would have gravitated towards because of kind of what we talked about. It's like not super romance driven. It's very dystopian and like what's going on, a mystery thriller kind of dealio. And while like the romance fantasy is my bread and butter, like that is always what I go to, I actually find it very relieving to have these like extra, not my normal lane type of comics to jump to when I need a break from it. Like I feel like that helps keep the love of it alive and like expands the horizons a little bit and helps me appreciate actually like my favorite stories more, because I'm like, oh, like this could be cool if they go down this avenue, or like, oh, I feel like I understand this like weird conflict that's happening now. Like, do you like, I guess, how do you feel about having those kind of like outside your niche stories? Do you seek them out a lot?
I feel like I don't. I really don't. And I think I want to be better at it. Because I think in my mind, Webtoon is like my place to find the like romance. Like if I keep going through all of them, I'm gonna I'll find the ones that are like really, really good. Whereas I think I still try to get like other like I try to buy physical books as well. So like I had I put them all away. What did I have? I have a book, Rat Queens, which is like a whole comic, which is like about it's less romance, but it's more fantasy driven. So it's like D&D-esque of like it's a party of women that have like all different races and classes, and like they're just like it's very like, well, how would I describe it? Like not raunchy, but like it's very like these like women that just don't give a shit, and like their asses out, their tits are out, and they're fighting bad guys, and like it's really silly. Yeah, I feel like I don't really seek it out as much because I feel like for comics I'm like I know what I like, but also when I find good ones, if I come across something that interests me, then like I'll read it and see.
Yeah, I agree. I also like too when shows that didn't start as comics release comics. So like Sarah and I love Over the Garden Wall, which if you we'll have to spend an entire. I could spend a whole episode and a half just talking about that. It's a.
We can do it for Halloween.
Oh, we could, yes. It's an entire. I don't remember how many episodes it is, but it's like a short series that was through Cartoon Network. That is about these two brothers who get lost in the woods. And they're just trying to find their way home. And that's all I'm going to say, because you just have to watch it. It's like so good. It's so good at being like for kids and adults. Like it's got a very easy to follow storyline while having little things sprinkled throughout where you're like, oh, okay. And it's very spooky fall, Thanksgiving, Halloween vibes. We all watch, like I watch it with my sister, I watch it with you, I watch it with our friend Anna. We all rewatch it right around fall every year because it's just so perfect. Elijah Wood is in it. Yeah, it's so incredible. But they released a few little like comic books from it with like some extra stories that I have, and I just like I live for that because I feel like I don't always necessarily want another season to shows if I feel like it was just perfect the way it was, but I love having a little bit of extra content that can be canon. Maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe it's just adding color to that world. So I really enjoy that kind of thing too. We're both reading the Avatar: The Last Airbender comic right now, right? Are you reading that? Oh, you're not reading that.
No.
I'm reading that. Let me get that author too.
Is it like from the beginning of Avatar? Because I remember seeing it, and I think I told you it was on there, but I didn't read it.
No. So it's Dark Horse Comics LLC is listed as author here on Webtoon. It picks off where the cartoon series left off. Like literally right after.
Fuck. Okay.
Right after.
Let me just.
Right after, girl. I can't believe you're not reading it.
I thought it was just like a recreation of it in Webtoon form.
No, it's not.
I'm so silly. Okay.
It's amazing.
I cannot believe this.
Avatar: The Last Airbender fans, download Webtoon solely so that you can read this comic. It's just like really filling that. Again, like it didn't start as a comic, it's a series that then is bringing comic that you can read if you want, you don't have to. I'm considering it canon so far. Like it's not changing the original for me, and it's just adding a bit more that I crave without me needing to see it animated. You know what I mean? I just love when they kind of do that. So
I'm so excited now. I'm like
I'm shook. I thought you were reading that.
I saw it and I went, oh, they're just like making it into a comic, but I thought it was all the same stuff. So I was like, maybe one day I'll read it. I didn't realize I'm a fool.
Yeah. It's good. It's good so far. Yeah.
That's good. Hell yeah. Okay. I will be reading that then. Another one that's like that is my favorite video game series is the Dragon Age, and they have Dragon Age comic books, which I haven't read yet. But they're of like the different stories, and like they have novels as well, which those I've read, and I want to continue on with the comics. So those are just fun things to like add on to the things that you love, which is really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Something else I want to talk about too is like, I feel like sometimes there's a connotation to comics that it's childish or I don't want to say childlike, because I don't really feel like having, like, I feel like childish makes more sense because it feels like that's the more negative feeling that I think comes across when people are like, oh, why do you read comics as an adult? You know, it's the same vibe. Like, why do you watch cartoons? Why do you watch anime? Like, that really bothers me because like, it's an art form. It's just an art form. You know, I'm consuming an art form that makes me happy, and I kind of hate the idea that there's like a childishness associated with it, because like obviously as a kid you read comics, but I don't think it's bad for adults to read it either. I don't know I guess, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think I feel like part of me wonders like this idea of it being childish outside of it, like this perspective of like kids look at photos until you learn to read just words, but like I wonder if there's also this connotation of like, because it brings us so much joy like a kid, that like it comes across as like childish, and I'm like, no, I think you're just scared of feeling happy and like enjoying the things in life that like might not be like the biggest, like it's not what people would consider adult-ish, but like it's fun. And I think that's what I always aim to bring into my life is the things that bring me joy. And so if reading a little fun cartoon smut as brings me joy, then that's fine.
Yes. I would argue too, there are many comics out there that are not for kids that make you feel like sometimes, I don't want to say like negative emotions because I feel like that sends the idea of like, oh, I hate this thing, but it's more of like everything is fine, right? There's apprehension you feel, like you're tense because you're like, what the hell is going on? And like there are things that happen in it that like really upset you, you know? It gets really dark. And so that's another reason why I kind of hate this idea of like, oh, if you read comics, if you consume art like that's very like immature, I guess. Or like, why aren't you consuming more like adult like content? It's like, because this kind of still is like I'm feeling things still. Like it's like I don't get it. Like
True. That's like Lore Olympus very much is like especially when it started out was very much focused on like big like lessons of like mental health and like all these different things, which heavy was like nice matter, to read. Yes, very heavy stuff. Yeah.
I will say too, for anyone who's nervous about accidentally stumbling upon a comic that deals with heavy subject matter, I would say 9 times out of 10, the comics I've read on Webtoon always will have some type of disclaimer or trigger warning at the very top of the episode, like before, because it's a scrolling kind of dealio. So before you even start to get into it, they'll kind of lay it out for you, like what to expect. And also, I recommend following the creators on their social medias because I hate adding an S at the end. It makes me feel old to be like the social medias, like their social media accounts, because they'll also post about it too. Like Rachel's really good about that with Lore Olympus of being like, you know, aware sometimes. But yeah, I agree. I think sometimes it can, you know, get into some heavy stuff too, which is like, I feel like helpful because, you know, it's important to talk about things that are hard.
Yeah, and you see like how other characters deal with those things. And it's like nice to see like it like literally drawn out for you of like how this character reacts through it and stuff. And that can be nice to see.
Yeah, it's like reading a book or watching a live action show, you know, there's still people processing things.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wild.
Hell yeah. Love comics.
Yeah, me too. And oops, I just whacked my whole station here with my knee. I'm sorry. It's like interesting to me. I was like reading a little bit too about like the benefits of being a creator through like Webtoon, and it seems like a lot of it is, you know, they get revenue from ads and whatnot. Webtoon has some type of like I had pulled it up earlier because I was confused about it. Let me see what it was called. They have like yeah, they have like ad revenue sharing programs, Canvas creator rewards programs. Like it looks like it's pretty catered towards creatives. I don't know exactly what, like how much, if any, you know, they make on there, but I think it's nice that those apps also like, yeah, it's free for us, which is nice, but it's not like the creators aren't also getting something out of it. But I'd be interested to know more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole scenario. I think Tapas is like an ad revenue type of thing as well. Yeah, and it's like in-app purchases for, like, I wonder too, like how much of our like like when you buy Fast Pass, how much of that is going where? You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure a lot of it too is dependent on how successful the series is also, you know? Yeah. Lore Olympus there was talks about it being a cartoon for a long time, I remember also. Like I feel like I remember there being an IMDb page at one point, and I was like, I would love to have this as a cartoon, but I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it's ending, is so that they can bring it somewhere else.
Maybe. But yeah, I think it's cool that it's like, it seems like such a good platform to get your ideas and your stories and your art out there while also making some money. But again, I don't really know how it is for creatives on there since I'm just a consumer of the art.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that it's like you know, accessible. So crazy. and so many good stuff, so much good stuff on there too. You know?
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
true.
True.
Oh, yeah. What room do you feel like we were in today?
I don't know. I'm kind of getting a little more like, I don't want to say the family room, but I think we're in some sort of sit down type of area. Like at my house back in Illinois, we have like a main living room, and then there's like a room right near the front also that we call just like the front room, which is like basically a living room, but it just doesn't feel quite the same. So we always call it like the front room. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting today. We're slowly getting into the house.
Yes, I agree. I feel like, yeah, imagine like my feet up on the couch and maybe like a little, like a notebook in my hand, like to draw things.
Yes. Oh my God, totally.
Hell yeah.
And we'd love to hear about comics that our listeners are reading. We always recommend stuff to each other. And, you know, if you liked any of the stuff we talked about and you start reading it, let us know.
Yeah, and send us recs, please.
Yeah, send us recs, please. I'm trying to expand my comic taste. I'm trying to get out of my little hole here. Romance fantasy. Yeah. So, yeah. And thank you to the Webtoon creators because we love your comics.
God bless.
I don't know what I'm going to do when Lore Olympus ends. I really don't know because that's just been a staple of my life every Sunday for years now.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I'm just going to buy every book and read it.
Yeah, that's another nice thing too, is like being able to support the creators in other ways too. Yeah, I bought like the first 3 volumes, I think, and they always kind of, yeah, I highly recommend following the artists on Instagram as well, because they also post like little side art.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always so good. It's like fuels me, especially when they're on hiatus. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you for posting this. Heck yeah.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, anything else?
I think that's it.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll have to talk about comics again soon, but I feel like that was a nice little jam sesh on our faves. And
yeah,
I just don't think anybody should feel bad about liking things just because they have this sort of like, why are you an adult liking a cartoon kind of connotation, because it's like anything can be anything. It's art, man. I don't care.
Yeah, so true.
So true.
Yes. Well, let's end this before I become absolute darkness.
I know.
I'm just like slowly fading into the dark.
The light is slowly dimming. Sarah's just in like the glow of her computer screen right now.
Slowly coming.
Incredible. Meanwhile, I'm like,
yeah,
through the windows. I love how it helped me right there when I turned. It got a little brighter there. All right. Well, I'll see you next time.
Yes, see you next time. Bye.